Dear Vincent, dear Gio, dear Giancarlo, and dear Tammy. Your friendship is everything I have ever wanted. You, collectively, have made my childhood dreams a reality, and you may never even know what that means. Even as a kid, I never wanted to have a lot of friends. I only ever really longed for one person who I could share everything with, one person who I could go to school with, one person who I could play with, and one person who I could share interests with. Maybe I was afraid that if I only had one friend, they would get bored of me, and the loss of that single individual would be too devastating. Or maybe I read some story that encouraged me to dream big, but that vision of a friend turned into a friend group. In my mind's eye, I would watch as the 4 or 5 of us went to school together and went to our classes. Some of us would have the same teachers, sit next to one another, and inevitably get placed on opposite sides of the room to minimize the disturbance we caused. During lunch and recess, we would reconvene at the same place, eat together, and do whatever kids did during their breaks as a group. After eating, we would do our homework together at one of our houses, eating snacks and fruit, and getting frustrated when we had to wait for the slowest among us to finish their times tables. When we finished our homework, and on the weekends, we would ride our bikes together, exploring the wilderness that was the hill behind the park. We would play video games while the quiet one in the group read. We would go swimming together, encouraging the timid one in the group to overcome their fears and go just a bit deeper. We would stay up late, giggling as we texted in the group chat. We would edit one another's essays, making fun of the smart one in the group for using big words and helping the illiterate one pick the right ones. We would go to the mall together, dare to spend our money on pretzels and comics, and, once we were old enough to develop interest, tease the one who had a crush way out of their league. Maybe the musical ones in the group would audition for the same symphony, and maybe the athletic ones in the group would try out for the same sports team. Maybe, as we got older, our interests would divulge, but at the end of every day, we would always convene at the same library to finish our homework. Maybe we had different schedules and lived in different places, but at the end of every week, we would make the time to hang out and catch up. Maybe, because of our differences, we would encourage one another to constantly try new things and grow. And maybe we would meet new people both outside of and through one another. But as significant others came and went, our friend group of 4 or 5 always stayed. For me, this has long felt like a fantasy that was lost alongside the opportunities of youth. But somehow, you, Vincent, Gio, Giancarlo, and Tammy, have revitalized this wish in the midst of medical school's mountain of studies. What should be countless hours spent painstakingly poring over anatomy has become discussions interrupted by minutes-long laughing fits. We have yet to be separated during class, but we happily attend lectures together and eat fruits and snacks while studying at one of our houses. There may not be symphonies or sports teams for us to join, but we engage our interests by taking on leadership positions in clubs and student government together. We encourage one another to try new things, to explore and to grow, and, as if we don't already spend enough time together, we go out on the weekends, invading every aspect of one another's lives. We may only be a year into our journey towards medicine, but you have already become so pervasive that I can't imagine myself as a doctor without you in the picture, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Walls that I didn't even know I had, safeguards for my emotions, crumble in the presence of people who care about me enough to want to protect my well-being more than I do. My medical school friends, you are so unabashed with how you make me happy. You scream for me in the halls, celebrate my accomplishments, and push me to both strive to be better and accept who I am. You make me shamelessly proud to be myself, and I can only hope to one day do as much for you as you do for me. I spend a lot of time thinking about how our time on Earth, our time living, is so limited. As a result, I want to spend as much of that time as I can surrounded by the people I love and surrounded by their love. I won't dare to say anything tacky like, I love you guys, but even knowing that my time is precious because of how finite it is, I'm glad I get to spend it with all of you. Yours truly, Kody.